Hi guys, how are you doing today? Welcome back to Random Lifestyle Vlog. If you're new here, this channel is all about beauty. We talk about fragrances, makeup, skincare, we do some unboxings and a little bit of vlogging as well. So if that sounds like something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Alright, in today's video I'm going to show you my recent fragrance haul. These are all the new releases from 2022 and I have to tell you, I'm going to spoil a little bit. This is one of the most successful fragrance haul. Maybe not ever. I mean, this year, sure, I don't think I did that many fragrance haul this year, but like this is one of the good ones, okay? This is one of the very successful ones, so I'm super excited to share my new purchase with you. So I purchased 4 fragrances and there are 2 fragrances I decided not to buy. So you know what, I'm actually going to start with these. I'm going to start with those that didn't make the cut. So the first one is, I'm going to put the picture here, is the Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium Illicit Green. I do love the bottle. It's just so gorgeous with this kind of green glass. It just looks so kind of like alchemist's potion, something like that. Really cool. The thing is, I mean, it looked tempting to me. It does contain some fig notes, so I was actually really curious on how this is going to work, but I had it in my shopping basket for, I don't know, 2 weeks or so, and I couldn't actually force myself to buy it, which is weird, because if I ever struggle with something, it's just like the opposite. Like I really find it difficult not to buy something, and in this case, I just couldn't really convince myself to buy it. So that was like, maybe I shouldn't, you know? So I decided to not to buy it, and then like a couple of days ago I was able to test it in a shop, and I was like relieved. I was like really relieved that I didn't get it. First of all, I didn't really get much of that fig note in there, so that was a bit of a disappointment. And the second thing, it was very similar to the original scent, but I mean, in case of Black Opium, most flankers are very similar to the original one, so that was like partially to be expected, but I kind of was hoping for something else. I'm glad I didn't buy it, so that's out of the way now. The other fragrance I didn't buy and I kind of wanted was the Burberry Hair Eau de Toilette, and I don't know why I even wanted to buy it in the end. I really dislike the original Eau de Parfum. I know that many people get a lot of like Baccarat Rouge vibe in there. I just get like a kind of sweet candy and some strawberry, so nothing really that fascinates me. I just removed it from my collection. I don't really like it, so I don't know why, but the Eau de Toilette actually looked a little bit more interesting looking at the notes. It looked a little bit different, but then I was looking at the notes and I kind of thought that I actually have a couple of fragrances that look very similar. So I haven't really made my final decision yet about this fragrance. I might actually maybe go and test it somewhere and then decide if I'm going to buy it or not. But I decided that this is not going to be the best blind buy for me. So yeah, this is the one that I decided not to buy in the end too. Okay, so this was the introduction. I told you about fragrance I didn't buy. Let's move on to my actual fragrance haul now. So the first fragrance we're going to talk about is Lancôme La Vie est Belle Oui. So this is the newest release. It was just released in 2022, so a very fresh one. This is the bottle. And this is like a really beautiful scent with a lot of like original DNA, but also with like a very strong iris note. So I would say this is not necessarily the safest blind buy for like everybody. You have to like the iris note. I think I'll probably describe it as a link between the original La Vie est Belle and the Soleil Cristal that was released last year. There's no coconut in here, but that iris note was quite prominent in the Soleil Cristal, and it is quite prominent in here. So that's why I kind of find these fragrances slightly similar, but there's definitely quite strong original DNA. So kind of have to at least like that fragrance to be able to like the flanker. Or at least that's what I think. So the notes here are top notes raspberry, bergamot, pink pepper, middle notes rose, ylang ylang, and then base notes, sweet notes, patchouli and iris. So as you can see, we have some gourmands, we have some patchouli, we do have some fruity notes, and this iris is actually quite prominent, just as I mentioned. So I will probably test it before buying, unless you kind of feel like you're going to like it. Unless maybe you like the original one, you like the Soleil Crystal, and you're kind of excited to try this new one. I actually really like it. I think it's the more refined, more elegant version of the original La Vie Est Belle. It is more classy, I think, you know? It is slightly more mature, in my opinion, than the original one, so just you have to be aware of that. I definitely recommend this fragrance. It is really beautiful, and I don't have anything like that in my collection so far, so yeah, really good one. Okay, moving on. The next fragrance I'm going to talk about is Cacharel Yes, I Am Delicious. And to be honest, this is the only Cacharel fragrance I own, but I just love the note, you know? I couldn't really say no once I saw the notes. So this is the bottle, like a lipstick kind of thing. It comes with this top thing, but it's just like, you know, like empty inside, and it only says here keep for traveling purposes, so I think you can just store it without this kind of plasticky thing, which is probably for the best. So this is that bottle. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. The scent though, this is just such a yummy chocolatey hazelnutty scent. It is just delicious. So I think the name is actually perfect for that scent. It is delicious. Obviously, if I were to compare this to like other chocolatey scents, like let's say Chocolate Greedy from Montal, this is not as chocolatey. This is like chocolate, cacao. It has some nuts in it, some citrusy notes. I'll probably place it closer to Hugo Boss, the scent Private Accord, although this one is actually more chocolatey. So maybe I could actually place this between this very chocolatey Montal Chocolate Greedy and the scent Private Accord by Hugo Boss, something like that. It has a little bit of tanginess. Let's have a look at the notes now. You're going to see that for sure. So the top notes here are cacao pod, hazelnut, green mandarin, cardamom. The middle notes, orange blossom, orange, Indian jasmine. And then base notes of dark chocolate and sandalwood. So as you can see, there's a bit of like fruitiness in here. There's a bit of like tanginess, some florals. It gives this fragrance a little bit of like brightness or freshness. So it's not like full-on chocolate. Really pretty. I'm actually really happy to have it. As much as I do like the first fragrance I mentioned, the chocolatey fragrance, which is Montal, I do, for some reason, do not really like the Hugo Boss Private Accord anymore. So I'm actually glad to have something that's maybe slightly similar but more gourmand. So yeah, I'm super happy with that one. So okay, so I just mentioned Hugo Boss Private Accord. Let's talk about another Hugo Boss fragrance. So this is the scent Le Parfum. And I just said that I don't really like the Private Accord anymore. It just, I don't know, I used to love it, okay, and then it just started bothering me. So I wasn't really sure how similar these scents are going to be. To be honest, from the scent line, the only one I've tried was the Private Accord. I wasn't really sure if this is going to be similar or not. The bottle is actually really pretty. I do like it. I do like that kind of shape. Like, it's not too over the top, really pretty. And this scent, it just blew me away. I mean, so beautiful. If you're expecting anything similar to the Private Accord, don't buy it, okay? Because it's not really similar. It's like a beautiful, classy, woody scent. It's just so pretty, but it's definitely not your classic gourmand, not your girly scent. It's much more mature, it's much more elegant. It's just so pretty, and oh, it smells much more expensive as well. So top notes of orange blossom and pink pepper, then middle notes vetiver, and then base notes akigala wood and patchouli. Yeah, beautiful woody scent. That orange blossom here, it's just enough, okay? It's just enough of it. It is so pretty. It is slightly peppery, and as you might know, I'm not a massive fan of like peppery fragrances, but that pepperiness here is actually very much needed, okay? Without it, that scent would be lacking something, so it kind of makes sense to me. Beautiful scent, smells actually quite expensive, and it's actually good for lasting too. By the way, because I don't think I mentioned that before, this one obviously has a really good lasting power. I think it's comparable to the original one. Then the Cacharel one is quite alright. It's not like the most long-lasting fragrance ever, but it's alright, okay? This one, again, back to like really good lasting ones. Lasts actually quite well on me, so I'm super happy with that one. Okay, so that leaves us with the last fragrance, last but not least, the last fragrance is La Nuit Trésor by Lancôme, and this is the Intense one. So again, the newest release. Just to let you know, this is the Intense is just a name here. The concentration is still Eau de Parfum. Sometimes when we have Eau de Parfum Intense, it is actually in Eau de Parfum Intense concentration, so a little bit stronger than the original Eau de Parfum. But in this case, we have Eau de Parfum that's just kind of have this intense name to it. Never mind, that's not really that important. This fragrance actually lasts quite well anyway, so I'm not going to be like too picky about that. So this is the bottle. It's actually really pretty. I think all of these kind of diamond shaped bottles are actually really pretty. This one actually has this like a red flower here. Cool. And the scent, oh my god, this is just so beautiful. It's like a really feminine, bright kind of scent, even though it has that depth and kind of like the richness of like classic La Nuit Trésor, but it's much like fruitier, much more feminine. It's not as kind of all over the place. Don't get me wrong, I do like the original scent, but this one is much more put together, and if the original scent is a little bit too much for you, then this one is going to make all the sense in the world. It is so pretty. So the notes here are, top notes, it's damask rose, then middle notes sour cherry, and then base notes almond milk, Madagascar vanilla, and woodsy notes. It's just so pretty, and it's like a perfect kind of springtime, summertime scent. I find not every single, but most like of these Nuit Trésor fragrances to be quite maybe autumn, winter suitable, because they're just so deep and rich, and I mean, they're beautiful. All of them are beautiful. But this one, it has this kind of fruitiness to it, and that makes it more suitable for like warmer days as well. One more thing I'd like to say is that this kind of links for me the original La Nuit Trésor with La Nuit Trésor à la Folie. I couldn't really see much similarity between these two fragrances I mentioned, and this one kind of links them to me. It kind of makes sense. With this fragrance, the other two kind of make sense together. So it's really beautiful, and another really good blind buy. So yeah, there we go. These are all the 4 fragrances I purchased this time. What do you guys think? Have you tried any of these? Are you planning to test or maybe blind buy any of them? Please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I don't even have to like conclude this with like telling you how much excited how excited I am, because I think you can tell these fragrances are gorgeous, and like doing blind buys is a risky business. On a, you know, sometimes you kind of like get something that's not necessarily that much up your alley, or maybe you get something that seems alright and then it's not anymore. But these fragrances seem perfect to me, so I'm super happy. I kind of want to congratulate myself for choosing that well. I'm happy I didn't get the Listen Green one. I'm not really sure about the Burberry one yet. We'll see how that will go, but I'm probably not going to blind buy it. And yeah, I think that's everything I have to say for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. For more fragrance related videos, check these ones here. I'm going to see you soon in my next video. Take care, bye!